Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Hi, I'm Jenny McCafferty, and I'm at what's currently called the Grand Haven Golf Club. And with me is Doug Bell, who's the general manager of the brand new American Dunes Golf Club. And you can explain a little bit about what this new means.
Well, new is Grand Haven Golf Club has been here. The sign still says Grand Haven until our last wedding that we host in July this summer, and then the new sign will go up, Jenny, and a new day has started. So in a little bit, we'll take a tour and let you see some of the golf, what's happening on the golf course. But American Dunes is the name of the new facility, a dream of Major Rooney's for a while. It is the birthplace of what is now Folds of Honor. The Folds of Honor Foundation. The first event was held back in 2006 here at Grand Haven, and that led to what is now Folds of Honor. So that one scholarship for Mr. Buckland's son that was raised here back in 2006 has blossomed into so many scholarships and so much money that's gone to help educate the spouses and children of our military members that have either passed away in serving our country or have been severely injured. So now, fast forward, the vision of Dan is to change everything about Grand Haven. So Mr. Nicklaus, in a conversation with Major Rooney, was all in, said he wanted to be part of it. He is designing an incredible golf course. He's in for his fourth visit this week. If the weather is good, he'll see what Grand Haven's all about in the west side of Michigan. But what they're creating out there is a special golf course with a lot of dunes. So in the name American Dunes, have your A game ready for sand when you come here, because if you're not on green grass, there's not a lot of trees left. There's some featured trees where they need to be, but what people are going to experience is what the coastline's all about. So we'll have some sand that you can play in, and you'll see that in the clips that we go out. But everything from the drive-in, you'll know you're at a special place, a military, a place that's going to honor the military, our current members, our veterans, those that are passed on. It's going to be a special place, and you'll have not only a round of golf, you'll have an emotional round of golf. And you won't leave here. If I do my job and our staff that we've assembled do our job, we think you'll come back and want to bring some friends with you to see not only the golf product, but what's going to happen to the building and the whole experience you're going to have.
Well, Doug, it's really interesting because we've been talking about Folds of Honor for some time now. Yeah. And for you to come to the home of Folds of Honor, it must be pretty special for you.
It is. It's certainly a blessing. When Major Rooney asked if we'd be interested, and I say we because my wife Ann, who lost her husband in the military, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Ann. And I'm blessed. I've been blessed to come into their family and help raise Hannah and Blake, our you could say they're my stepchildren, but I call them my kids, and I hope Jeff would be okay with that. He's the hero. I'm just filling some boots here on Earth, but it's been a wonderful journey to meet all the different people, to see maybe pass or carry on the tradition of a guy like Kevin McKinley, who has done so much at Treetops for Folds, and all the other golf professionals in Michigan and around the country. So to be here, to be a point person for this project and get to put a great team together, I'm very honored.
Well, Doug, it's really exciting, but the one thing that keeps getting my attention is the logo. It's a combination of the bear and an American flag. Can you talk about that a bit?
Well, I can talk with what I know, but I understand that Major Dan, Jack, and Barbara had a little something to do with it. So when it was put together, I think Mrs. Nicklaus, Barbara, was very instrumental. And so we think that it looks pretty good. It's pretty patriotic. His bear is red, white, and blue, and some stars on there. So we hope people come in, and if we're doing our job, we might have a couple things you might want to take home with you.
I think so. There's already some pretty good red, white, and blue merchandise in the golf shop.
We could be a red, white, and blue facility.
Doug, congratulations, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much. Let's take a tour. All right, so Art, behind us here is our new pond that just finished construction today, started last Friday. It's one of the 5 additional ponds that are being created on the property to help with aesthetics, playability, and the overall water drainage on the property. So different from what people would have seen when they played Grand Haven Golf Club, when they see the new product, American Dunes, they're going to see some water features that they haven't seen before. So this pond that we're looking at behind me just finished about 2 hours ago, so it's not completely dressed up yet. Once it fills back up with the groundwater, it'll be a feature as you play in on the 18th hole. It'll be off to the left of your approach shot, and it'll be to the left of you as you tee off on number 1. So what you're looking at now is the pole in the distance there, in the near ground is your 18. It's the first hole. So we're standing just behind the first green, and as you look back at the clubhouse behind me, you notice that we're standing on pure sand, all the natural dunes that are underneath what was the soil of the old golf club. So they're exposing it all. It's everybody that plays is going to experience. You're either on new green grass or you're going to be in some of the crazy dunes and some of the features that give us our name. Most of the fairways are being raised about 2 feet above the level they were at with all this fresh sand that was, I don't want to say mined, but brought off the property in certain other areas. And it's going to help with the drainage. It'll be just wonderful.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so Art, you're looking back at the back tee on number 2, and as you pan past me, it's the tee complexes for number 2. And as you look up towards into the sunshine here, you'll see the natural. It's maybe hard to see, but there's going to be a waste area, natural dune surface prior to getting to the fairway. So you'll carry across that with the tee shot, and this dune feature will be on 2, work over to number 9, come all the way around and touch the first green. So again, what people are going to experience when they play here is a lot of what was here naturally in the ground. You're gonna get good with your sand wedges and your hybrids out of the bunkers. All right, so Art, you're looking at the recycle area, if you want to call it that. So, and two different time frames. We took 13 acres of trees approximately off the property, and then they came back for a second clearing of about 17 acres, or are in that process. Most of the wood is being recycled and logged off. The parts that they can are going to mills all over. And then as you turn and pan behind me, we've got our wood chip pile. That the trees and the branches that were unusable from a logging perspective were chipped, and all the chips are being hauled off site by companies to be reused. So some of the guys working down behind you see we're on the 4th hole, 7th tee area. So it's a process. We're focusing on 12 key holes right now, and then we'll move on. The construction company move on, and the irrigation guys will come in behind. So Art, looking behind me, you're looking right down the 5th hole. The 5th hole won't change a lot. There has been tree removal to widen it, but other than a little bit of a lengthening of the hole, Jack really liked the shape of it. So a lot of the features will remain the same as far as topography, but some new tee boxes, a new green complex. To my right shoulder, 500 yards, is Lake Michigan. So we're on the furthest west part of the golf course. And if you pan over to the right a little bit, you're kind of looking down number 7. Got a guy working over on the approach to 7 green area. Unique to the course will be the fact you can see between the holes now, where before it was completely tree lined and you didn't know, you really couldn't get a sense of the elevation changes or what was here. So Art, you're starting your shot at the 5th green area where the guys are working here, and as you go past me, we're standing on the par 3 number 6 looking downhill, a 225 estimated yards length par 3. From this location you can see 5, 6, the 7th hole is going to play right back past us, the 8th hole playing back to the south or the north. You can see the 9th tee, the 2nd green, the 3rd hole, the 4th hole. You basically can see from this location every hole except number 1. And so that's what, when people get out here and see the finished product, it just isn't going to be what it was. It's going to be completely different. And, Mr. Nicklaus has got a tapestry to work with here that's just fantastic. And the elevation changes that people are going to see on the golf course compared to they've always been here, but you just couldn't sense it when you were in the seclusion of the trees on every hole. So Art, we're standing on what is the 9th tee now, looking back at the clubhouse in the distance. So the 9th tee grew from a 4 par to it's going to be a unique 5 par with a different pond that's going to be created. You can get a good visual of the clubhouse now from your camera lens, where in the past you could only see the very left side of the building. So it's gotten wider. It may get a little bit wider yet with the future visits, but this is 9 taking it home. So, Art, behind me, we're on the 12th hole, which has really not been touched yet. A few trees have been taken off, but not completely finished. This gives you a good idea of what a lot of the holes out here look like with the thickness of the tree cover on both sides. All right, Art, so here we are on the 18th, the finishing hole. We're at the turn point at about 290 yards off the tee. We're looking up at the green now. As it's roughed in, there's a new pond off to our left side that we started a few video clips ago about, and you can kind of get a feel with the dozer tracks of the shape that this is going to take. So you'll finish on 18, be right back at our clubhouse. And you know what's interesting, I was working with Major Rooney. It's a blessing. He's one of the busiest guys that I've ever met, and every day he's awake, he's given to somebody. He's given charity back, and especially with Folds of Honor in our military. You pair him with Mr. Nicklaus, whose schedule is incredibly busy, and it's neat that they sometimes can figure out a time to get here at the same time and talk about this golf course. So they're due in this week for another visit, another tweak of this and a tweak of that, and it's going to be fun. All right, so we'll end with a nice little story, Art. 1985, my first venture out of Michigan as a young Ferris State intern. I was able to go to Dallas, Texas, and work at the Dallas Athletic Club, and I got to watch Mr. Nicklaus redo the blue course, which was where he won his first PGA championship. So 35 years later, if this is my last stop in my career, I get to see him build another golf course, and I happen to be fortunate enough to work at it. So full circle, life's all about full circles, and with our kids being part of the Folds of Honor family, with being scholarship recipients, bless their father, Jeff Davis, for serving our country. It's going to be a fun story to tell, and it's going to be a fun journey over the next several years.